Hello, hello. It's Wholesale Hotties tonight. We've got our guest Lisa with us. And Lisa, can you pronounce your last name again?
Hi, Lisa Woloshin.
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 Yes, and I think I'll get it up there too, make sure I spell it right again. And then of course we got our co-host Jennifer, and our other two gals are out. One traveling, and one is actually sick. Had a unexpected operation. So prayers for Sharon on that, for quick healing and
Yes.
stuff. So she'll be back quickly. But we're going to go to Lisa. And Lisa, can you kind of tell us how you got involved with real estate and what all you do and what your directions are?
Um, I have a long history of real estate as an investor, going to some masterminds, things like that. Um, so what happened was I became a client relations specialist. These masterminds we went to, people would have deals, and everybody hated doing the paperwork, like hates doing the paperwork, and especially through your IRA, you're working, it's time consuming. A lot of they didn't want to do it. So I was like, I'm good at it, I'll do it. So I got involved that way by being a client relations and doing everybody's IRAs and helping them do their investments. And I did that for about 10 years. And after COVID, I decided to make a change about a year and a half ago. I'm like, you know what? I think I just want to do like real estate and show homes and do all that glamorous stuff. So behold, not so glamorous. So being new to that part of the industry, I had to find a niche, like I didn't have leads. How do you get leads? I didn't do the Zillow thing because I had difficulty paying that 40%. So I needed to find other options. And I found that expired listings were right there in the MLS every day. Every day a new list came out. And I thought, you know what? Why? And I would start looking at them like, why did that expire? How many agents did it go through? Where did they start at that price point? And all those questions started coming up. Like, and then talking to other agents, I would hear things like, I'm just getting the listing. I don't care how I get it. Yes, that purple wall is beautiful. Leave it. And I found that they were just appealing to the client, but not really doing them a service by saying, hey, that purple wall is only going to be liked by 10 people. You might want to change some things. Do you know what I mean? And you can do that tactfully, right? Without insulting a homeowner who's loved their home forever.
How do you say that tactfully, Lisa?
How would you say that tactfully?
Yes, I'm genuinely curious.
Oh, I would say, I love your home and you seem to like this color, purple. Have you seen some of the new colors out today? Oh my God, my favorite color is that mocha brown, or hey, grayish beige is in. You know what I mean? And try to get them to maybe see, oh yeah, I could put beige here, or I could enhance that color. So I never insult them because everybody has their own taste,
Sure.
but I want them to understand that is not the norm. And to make your house successful, you have to bring it appealing to a wider variety of people, right? I mean, that's the goal. Is we really
I've noticed that the number one color out right now for home selling is this, and then I'm like,
right.
Yeah, right. And
and then that conversation starts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I always research what's up and new with colors when I'm trying to sell a home and stuff, just to see, because there's studies on that, which is great point. Yeah.
You walk into a hospital green color, or a color that kind of, had some trauma to you as a child, which you sometimes may not know, but right,
Oh, true. You're right.
And you're running out the back door. You don't care how beautiful that house is. You're like, I'm out, no, it's a no-go. So those are the kind of careful questions I think we forget to ask because we really want that deal. Come on, we want that deal.
Oh, yeah.
We'll ask them, so what did you like about the agent? How did it go? What do you wish you would have done or he would have done? How can we make what your needs are better and improve on that? And then, I come with a lot of data. I come with data. I come with a
Mm.
year's worth of data because it's funny till this day, and I don't know if you noticed this, people are stuck in that COVID amount, right? The aspirational
They are.
pricing.
It's the bane of my existence every day.
You're like, who are you kidding?
Right?
Yeah, every
You
day
have to
I
bring
have
them
to tell them
back
out
to
of that COVID
reality.
price.
Yeah. And you really have to bring them back to reality. And how do you do that? Tactfully. Again.
Data.
Yeah, data.
And then they
Yeah.
want to kill the messenger, Lisa. So how do you tactfully do it in a way where now they associate you with being the bad guy? So I lose deals by bringing data. So I'd love to learn from you. So if I'm the one who brings the data, then I'm the bad guy who they now associate with the bad news, and maybe the next person gets the deal. And so I try to be tactful and kind of lead them down the primrose path where I don't necessarily tell them this is the data. I say, we're only able to authorize to purchase based on market price. And there's no way you'd go for XYZ, would you? Right? And they're like,
Yeah.
no, I wouldn't. And I'm like, okay, may I ask you, why not? And sometimes I just have to say that. But I notice if I start bringing them data, then I'm the bad guy. So how do you get around that, Lisa? I would love to hear
A
that.
little bit. You can't pull all the data out at once and go, here's the spreadsheet. You know what I mean? Like you've got to kind of almost implement it in their head even when you're walking through the house and telling them how great and this is a great feature and oh do you know what your neighbors have sold in the past year? And they're going, yeah, my house is better and they sold for 1.4 and I want to sell for 1.5. And then it's like, oh, but how did they sell for, what made them so special? So I try
Good for you.
to get that out there, little pieces. And then I come right back to all the compliments. Bring it back in, let them feel what I call peacocked, right? Give them that, peacock moment, I call it. And then you throw a little bit more. And then I say stuff like, well, what do you think? What do you think?
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, because everybody has an opinion. Everybody has an opinion.
Yeah, no, that's so smart. I love that.
But I don't want to give them the true opinion. I want them to discover that the opinion that I'm leading them to, right?
Right.
So I'm like, what do you think? I heard that such and such is at this. How's that working? Do you know anything? And of course, everybody's, knowledgeable and, that kind of thing. So I kind of do a little steering and then I let them do their thing and I steer them back. And then when we finally do come to the table, I'm like, I'm so glad we talked about this because here's what I have for you. I think you're right on. I'm like, here's what I really think. That 1.4, I think may have been a little too high. And maybe your agent was afraid to tell you that. And maybe the market shifts so much that really 1.4 is not really where you can go right now. But if you do want to sell right now, here's what I'm thinking. And it's funny because I do this again. I play this little game. And I don't mean a game, but I want them to come to where I want to be, right? So I'll come in lower. So for instance, I told this gentleman that 1.4 wasn't going to sell and here's the data on it. But if you were to ask me today and you wanted to move this house in 60 to 70 days, which is the market norm, I would list your house at 985. That's a big jump from 1.4.
Yeah.
So not only by the time I got him to the table, he had to realize that 1.4 was not attainable, right?
Right.
Well, he doesn't want to go 985. I know he doesn't. So
Right.
what was
Right.
his solution? His solution was, well, I understand where you're coming from, but what if we did 999? That's exactly where I was going to take you.
Right.
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
So
just
that he
like
doesn't he wins. He's in control still.
right.
Yes.
Because it's his house. And my goal is to match all your goals. And one of my mailers that I send out for expired listings says, let's get you back in control. Right. So I'm always wanting you to be in control. Now, you and I are having this discussion. In the back of my head, I'm thinking, my God, I'm so manipulative. But I'm not. Right? Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, did I just say that? I'm being so manipulative. But I'm not being really manipulative. What I'm doing is allowing you to see two whole pictures and you come up with the right answer. I'm giving you real facts.
Right.
True. You're
But
not
I'm
making that
allowing,
up. Yeah.
No.
yeah,
No,
I'm
you're
allowing
educating them. You're educating them, but you're not without being offensive.
Yeah. And right away, you've gone through a realtor and they didn't get your house sold. And now you're paying for this and you've already moved. You're not a happy camper.
Right.
You've got to like soften that somehow to make them understand that I hear you, number one. And number two, they're still in control.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that goes a long way.
Right.
No matter what price range you're looking at. So, and that's why I like expireds, because from the agents that I've talked to, I'm going to list it. He says 1.4. I'm okay with that. I don't want to lose your listing. And I will tell them, if we can't come to something that I think is obtainable, I'm going to stop you and I'm going to be very honest with you. I am not your agent,
Mm-hmm.
because in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I'm not that agent that's going to come back to you and say, mister, it didn't move. Now, can we bring the price down and all that? I don't want to do that to you. That's not fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we have to do that sometimes. Yes, because there's a shift or whatever, understandably. But when you try that aspirational pricing so above the market,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to have to bring it down. And now you're the bad guy once again, right? You're the
Well, and then
bad guy.
yeah, and people look at that and go, "Why was there such a big discrepancy?" And a lot of people that aren't in real estate go, "Oh, what's wrong with the house?"
That's right. Then all those questions come up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I don't want to play that question game. I want to market you right and get you as close to what your satisfaction and your goals are. So when we get a bid, I know that even though we listed it at $999, those bids are coming in at $985.
Right.
They're going to come in at $985. And then we have that little leeway of a play, and then he's still going to walk away with pretty much the mindset of what I tried to instill in that person. So I just find that if we slow down and really consider how to tell people what's good and show them in a offensive, demanding way. And we don't always know. We don't have a crystal ball, right? These are all projections. But doing it, I'm sure, long enough, you guys know. You know where you're supposed to be. And it's frustrating when they don't see that. But if they don't see that, you'll never sell their house. You might get lucky.
What are some pre-qualifying questions that you ask him maybe before the meeting, so that you can rule out whether or not that person's even going to be worth your time to even spend that hour with them in a listing appointment?
Right. So I don't do well like with that little talk on the phone. I do much better face to face.
Okay.
because I can read their expressions and I can
Right.
adjust. I can't read their expressions on the phone. I don't know if they're really hearing me.
Right.
So my goal when I go when I get that call and they want to try and use me or have me come interview, I'll say, okay, great. I said, I don't even get into what they listed before because truly that really doesn't matter to me. I tell them my goal today when I come to your house is to go through your house, sit down and talk to you, see what you liked, what you didn't like, what you want changed, how things work. I am then going to go home. I'm going to do all the data. I'm going to, do everything. And depending on the price point, I have to go home and do the research because I don't want to do it ahead of time. And then, because we've all had this, you then go in the house and you're like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Right.
And then you're like, how can I present this beautiful listing presentation that now doesn't match everything inside or the needs in the inside of the house? So I really try to go in. I tell them it's a fact finding. I'm going to do some research. I'm going to do some fact finding. And when I'm done, then we're going to have that concrete conversation. And then and then I feel better. And I will sit with them at the table and say, yeah, you were at 1.4. And if I have a ballpark of where I think they should be, I might bring it up while I'm still at that listing appointment. But you have to be careful because you want to make sure that you've gone back and that's really where you should be. I don't want to go back to them and say, well, now that I've looked at your place.
Mm.
Right. That's so smart. So did you figure that out the hard way?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the hard way. But I think my background is in nursing.
Oh, wow.
I was a nurse first. So if you know any nurse, the first thing we want to do is embrace you, fix whatever it is, right?
Yes.
And read you. We need to physically see you.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Those are my telltale signs. I could walk in a room and know already who I'm going to gravitate to because I get that sense of feeling. Like some people don't have that. I do. So that kind of softens that blow. Now I've got them to trust me. Now I can go home and do my research because now what I tell them is going to be genuine and honest. And I'm still going to let them make that final decision. So I don't drill them with a lot of questions. I some people do. I don't. I mean, I do the basic questions like why, what happened, that kind of stuff. Where would you like to see? What are your goals now? Those things.
Mm-hmm.
And I just try to listen to I try to match them, their energy, their whatever. And if they're
I
yelling
find
about
that
it,
a lot of folks whose listings expired is because they didn't do what the realtor asked them to do the first time. So how do you address that awkward elephant in the room?
so you mean like their realtor said, hey, I think it should be, and they didn't?
Well, right. Any example of that? Either they needed to fix something in the house, or their
Yeah.
price. Usually, the price was too high, and they didn't do what their realtor told them to do. And then with the next realtor, they're just assuming the next realtor has a magic wand when really it was them. They should have done some sort of work.
Oh
Like
no, and
the house.
I'm very honest, and I tell them, listen, I'm very honest. I will work 110% for you, but what you will find is I'm going to tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm going to be honest with you. And then I'm going to tell you your choices, your solutions, and whatever. And again, you're going to make these decisions. For instance, the purple wall. You think that purple wall that only gravitates to 1% of the population looking for this
Yeah.
type of home, what are your feelings on it, especially since you're moving? Does it matter to you that it's purple? What if we could update it? Well, I really like the color purple. I'm like, yeah, you can paint your next house purple. right?
Right.
Right? Because it's the truth. You can use your purple again,
Mhm.
but people don't want to see that color. People have certain, it's like when you go buy your shoes. You're buying your Kate Spades because you know they're good and because you know other people have them and you want them too, right? Because it's a good product.
It was
Why
so
would I want
interesting you said child trauma associated with the paint. I've never heard anyone say that before, but I've thought it and then thought I was a little crazy. You know what I mean? Like, because some colors make me feel really nauseated for some reason, right? Like that green from the 60s. I hate that color. Maybe
right? And
because it reminds me of stuff. You know
Yeah.
what I
right,
mean?
Yeah.
sure, sure. And I think being honest, but being kind and honest, and then
Mhm.
always coming back with a compliment
Yeah.
takes the person off of the defense and then puts them onto, oh, well, maybe. Oh, I get it. Um, because we're human, right? The minute somebody says they don't like something, especially to us or about us, what's the first thing we're going to do?
Wall up.
Shut it down.
Yep. Wall up.
Absolutely. Right. So we're not trying to wall them up or get them on the defense. We're
No.
trying to get them to see that it may be a great color. You love the color. It worked great for your house. It was beautiful in your house. But how can we improve on that so that it does sell? So I just try to change words. So now it's their thought, not mine, you
So
know,
smart.
and it's just little words. And if they get defensive, you'll see it, like visually, you'll see them stand up
Mhm.
straighter, or they'll cock a different way. And then you're like, okay, I got to bring that back, go a different route. But eventually, when I keep saying, what do you think? What are your thoughts? And then elaborate on them, it makes them go, oh, well, she's more interested about me and not just wanting to sell my house just because. Yes, I'm
Mhm.
interested in you because my end goal is you getting to your goal. So I really try to be that nurse, I guess, because we do it in the hospital when you're not feeling good. We're like, come on, get out of bed. You don't want to get out of bed. You're hurting. But you know what? We got to get you out of that bed because why? It's the
Clots.
best thing for you.
Right.
Yeah.
The nurses never explain it's about clots, though. Like, I
Yeah.
wish they, after my C-section, like, you have to get up. You have to shower today. I'm like, I don't want to get up, but they don't tell you why. But they're like, if they had said, oh, if you stay in bed, you're going to get a clot, and then you could have a
Yeah, you're like,
stroke. You're like, oh, shit, let me get out of bed, you know?
Yeah, but do you know how many patients would be like, that nurse said I'm gonna get a clot and I'm
Oh,
gonna
really?
get
So
Oh
there's a
yeah.
liability there. Okay. That's too bad. I mean, people need to be able to face reality. Come on now.
right. Right.
Yeah. But good luck with that one.
Then we got to remember, not everybody has common sense and like, okay, this
Oh
is
yeah.
good. So you're like,
But yeah, and that's why they don't, is that they're just like, come on, come on. You're like thinking, God, leave me alone already. Right.
right.
But there's a reason for that madness.
I see.
Um,
Yeah.
We want you to feel better and get healthier quicker. So let's get you out of that bed. Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
develop one heck of an instinct, both in the hospital setting as a nurse and
Mhm.
also going in people's houses too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I've never been unfortunate to run into like a weird situation, thank God. But I think body language and verbal cues and those kinds of things I do better with. I don't like I can talk to you on the phone if I know you, but if I don't know you, there's not enough there for me to feel that comfort level. Like I'm going to ask you very standard, just boilerplate
Sure.
things, and some people are very good at it. Like I listen to some people and I'm like, gosh, how do you do that? Like that's brain damage for me.
Right.
That's why I have you.
Yeah, no, I do. I have been told I'm very good over the phone. It's probably the only talent the good Lord gave me. So I'm glad I have that. Otherwise, I would be homeless. So I'm grateful for that, and I'm a little more awkward in person. So I'm grateful for the phone and for people like you who choose to be great in person. Right? I think you need both.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah.
ideally.
So that's
Are
why I
you
like expired listings.
Yeah. Are you still investing? Because you said you
Um,
invested in the beginning. What kind of investing? What were you doing in that realm of your
oh
life?
gosh, we did everything. We did hard money lending basically. We lent it out. People did the fix and flipping. We did oil and gas. You name it. We had our pockets in everything because I was in some of the same masterminds as Mary Hart and some of those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I knew a lot of the same players in that.
Are you on
Um,
the East Coast then? Because isn't Mary
I don't remember where Mary is, but I'm in Delaware. Yeah,
Delaware?
where
Okay.
is he? I'm not sure where
Mary had a
Mary.
farm in Kentucky,
Oh
and I
yeah,
can't remember where her main house is. I should know that, but I forgot.
yeah,
Because they were having that event, and it was like in North Carolina on the beach house or something they were doing, right? Felt like it was, she was more, yeah, East Coast area, but yeah, she's been on here. So yeah.
yeah. So we've all done that circuit of investing and that kind of thing, which was great. And then I just decided, I want to try the other end. I want to sell the homes. I want to help people buy homes. What was I thinking? It's definitely not selling the sunset, that's for sure.
No, yeah, realtors work
It's
so
hard work. It's
It
real work.
is. People don't understand that, how much time and money that it takes for you on these doing that. Because I know
Yeah.
I did that for a short time at Washington State, and I was like, there's a lot of days and hours wasted that, or you feel wasted. That is like you drive people around, you talk to them, you show them homes, and then they just like out, or they just
Yeah.
yeah. And it's like you can spend
Yeah.
you guys
And it really plays on your psyche though, doesn't it? Like, what did I do wrong? Like, why
Yeah.
me? Why did they ghost me? Why didn't they close? I mean, you can go down that rabbit hole very easily. You have to constantly pull yourself back and go, it's okay. I wasn't meant for everybody, or whatever the case may be. Yeah,
Yeah.
that deal fell through. You mean, especially the deals where you're like right at the end, you're like ready to sign, and that the joke, of course, for us is nothing's done till that attorney hands you your commission check.
So
You know,
true.
at the closing table, nothing's done until that check hits your hand.
That
Yeah.
is so true.
People make mistakes by going and buying something. They're ready to close, and they go buy something, and they check their credit one more time, and they're like, "What do you mean I can't buy my house now?" Well, you bought a truck or a new fridge and on credit, and they're like, "I told you not to buy anything."
Yeah, and you tell them, and
Yeah,
it's
one ear and out the other. Yeah.
and then they're mad at you because didn't close. Well, hello.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh.
And you told me that you're in a luxury market too, at least where you are immediately. Do you have to change your presentation as a person? Like, does it matter if you're carrying a Prada purse versus a Walmart purse when you show? And I'm asking not to be silly, but because these little things might really matter for conversion purposes.
They do. It's crazy. I have 2 cars.
I was going to ask about the cars too, because that was a good point, Jen.
I have a beautiful BMW 430i, which I love. It's my girl. And then I have an old 2015 Volkswagen Jetta stick shift. But I always come. I don't care who you are. I always come in a suit. And I have friends who will Google like their client. I won't do that. And here's why. That doesn't matter to me. I'm going to treat you with the same respect as a $200,000 home, whether you're 1.4 and you're a CEO. Doesn't matter to me. My skills are all the same, and I'm going to respect you the same exact way. I don't need to know who you are, where you've been, that's okay. Because that $200,000 person one day will be my next client again and again versus that 1.4. Um, so I treat everybody the same. I'm not going to pull up in a BMW. I think it could be insulting. It's a little intimidating. Um, so I do try to be sensitive to that. And listen, we've all been on the bottom shelf. We've all been, had to dig out our own crap to get to where we are successfully. And it's very important to always remember where you were, where you came from, and you know, everybody deserves that shot. I believe anybody who wants to own a home has should have every right, and we as realtors should be able to help them facilitate that, whether we need to help them get their credit straight, send them
Mhm.
to mortgage officers, whatever that case may be. But I think everybody in the United States that has the dream of owning a home, no matter what that home may look like to us, should have that, should be able to achieve that.
Well said. When I bought my
Mhm.
house, we were making 40K a year, and it cost $130,000, and we still live in it because the neighborhood is very good. We have pastors, PhDs. Because of inflation with COVID, our house that was 135 is now like, I mean, I think at the top of the market they were selling for 320, and there wasn't a lot of inventory, and so we ended up with PhDs, entrepreneurs, doctors. When I first moved in, it was mechanics, police officers, librarians.
Right.
Inflation has, if nothing else, gentrified these lower middle class neighborhoods
Mhm.
into now upper middle class neighborhoods, even though the houses are 1969 ranches, single story, 1,800 square feet. And so that's been really wild to see over the last 8 years. And Lisa, to your point, we didn't upgrade because I knew I could invest more if I lived below my
Mhm.
means, right? And so I chose to stay in that house, but I will still use that realtor who treated us with that respect over and over and over again whenever I buy my rentals. Even though I have my license too, I just use it for referral purposes. And so, but I'm still going to use her because she's the OG veteran who's been doing it for 40 years.
Right.
And she's amazing. And so I want to reward her loyalty. So to your point, you never know when a 200K person ends up becoming successful, and they're like, "Oh, hey, Lisa, can you help me buy a bunch of rentals now? Now that I live so far below my means and have all this extra money, I've got to put somewhere." You know what I mean? And so
And that's a
your good karma,
beautiful thing. That's a
your good
beautiful thing
karma
to
is
be
going to
able
come
to
back to
say.
you. Yeah,
Yeah. I think it's really important to stay humble.
Yeah.
Life right now with everything going on, I mean, really, and I'm
truly.
not political, we need to stay humble because it's a different world we're living in. And we need to remember that there are people out there that need us, or
Yes.
we need to just respect, you know? Yeah.
Tell me more about that, Lisa, in terms of, how does the humility transform for you in your business, and what are some things that you're seeing? I know you're not political, that you feel like affect the economy that then therefore affects the real estate market.
Yeah. So it's funny though, because where we live in Delaware, we have a beautiful coastline, and we haven't seen some of the hits that other states take, unemployment, all that, housing markets crashing, rentals going under. We, again, so we consider this area, Sussex, Rehoboth, very luxury markets. These homes for instance, my in-laws' home went from 500,000 to over 3 million. These are
Wow.
$3 million, yeah, and it just keeps going because investors are just dumping their money here. It's Delaware, we're a tax-free state. We have all these, corporate laws and things. So it makes it very easy to invest here for people. So it's strange because this is the weird dynamic. And here's why I say I'm very careful. We have what's called land lease properties, which are people own the home, but not the land.
Right.
There's a land owner.
I've heard of those.
Now, yeah, and there's a lot of them in Sussex County. So when you're in a land lease, you're going to pay for a mobile modular home, and that's going to be maybe 250,000 on a land lease, mind you.
Wow.
And that's only a mile and a half, 2 miles from this luxury listing at 1.7, 3.5.
Wow.
So it's all tied in. And then we have new construction. Our state is the fastest growing state. I don't know numbers, but there is a new builder and a new development around every corner. And not like 20 home developments. I'm talking 60, 120, I mean, massive, big developments.
Wow.
And those homes are starting at $700,000. But they're homes that should be 400, 450. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's an insane market here. So there, and I'm like, okay, when's the bottom going to fall out? When are all these people? And the thing that the influx that we're having is retired. We have people, they're retiring. The tax benefits are better here. Low income tax, 2% sales tax. I mean,
wow.
All kinds of reasons to move here. And that's what we're getting. We're getting people from high state taxes like Connecticut and New York and New Jersey and Washington. They'll come here because you know what? They want to be near their beach. We get people from upstate New York who normally, when they go to the beach, travel 3 and 4 hours to the beach.
Right.
And then they give us their price range. And we're like, well, that's great. I can get you about 30 minutes from the beach. They're like, wow, that's great. now me, right, me living here, I'm like, oh no, 30 minutes, that's too far.
Yeah, that's
right?
too far.
Right.
It makes it an epic journey, right?
right. I'm like, 30 minutes, I'm not going to the beach today. But for them, 30 minutes is a no-brainer.
Right.
And having all the tax incentives. So it's kind of funny to listen to. So it is an unusual market, and it's doing really well. I cannot say it's just going up. There is no bottom out. I mean, we've got maybe 3 months supply in Sussex County. Maybe.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's only because there is so much new construction that people are kind of not looking at the stuff that's already here. They're jumping right into that new construction. Right. They'll have a new house in 6 months. They'll have, if they started in, November, they're going to be in their house by spring, January, March, April. So they're going to start their summers, So you're seeing a lot of that. You're seeing a big influx here, which I'm very fortunate for.
And did you grow up around there, Lisa?
I didn't. So I'm from New York. Then I migrated, lived a lot of my life in Reading, Pennsylvania, moved here probably 20 years now, or a lot more than that because my kids are 23. So maybe almost 30 years now. So I can say I'm definitely a Delaware resident.
What took you there when you were living in these other areas? What made you decide to move there? Was it because of all the tax benefits?
No, my husband, I was a nurse, and Neil was a dental resident, and that's how we met.
Oh, okay.
And he's from here, so I just followed him.
That's great.
It worked out well for me.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
The doctor-nurse team is really great because you guys understand each other at a core level in terms of the stresses. So the couples I see that last the longest understand each other's day-to-day stress with a deep intimacy that others would not necessarily understand. And I wanted to hear you ladies' feedback if that's been true for you in your long-term relationships.
Yeah, so for me, my husband and I are like yin and yang, right? He's always, he's everywhere. ADHD. Okay. Um, so his mind never stops. It's business, it's this, it's that. It's going a mile a minute all the time. And he's got to solve every problem and every issue. And I'm like the other way, right? I'm like, it's all right. It's going to be fine. If it didn't work today, it'll work out tomorrow. It's okay. Right?
I like that. Yeah.
So I'm the calm to the storm. And that's why it works so well. And then there's just some days you got to let the storm ride its way out because it'll figure itself out. And I just sit on the sidelines watching, going, when's that rain going to be over? Or do I need to jump in with an umbrella and save this knucklehead today?
That's great. He sounds very lucky to have you.
Yeah.
Being the warm person in my relationship, we need that badly, or we would just
and you could
go off the
probably
deep end.
sense that when we were on the phone together. He was like very like intense and had all these questions in his head, and yeah. And I'm just like, okay, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I can certainly match that, and it's hard to turn it off, if not impossible. I mean, I can't turn it off with any kind of chemical I've tried out there or activity. It just finally burns itself out from exhaustion. Is
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're awake and you're right back at it.
exactly. Yeah, no, that's exactly right. And what about you, Donda? You and Jim?
Well, it's both of our second marriages, and we're just so much in common, but yet we balance each other out in things like it's just like a perfect mix because I could be having a really crappy day or stressed about something, and he seems to be that calm on that day and just like talks me off the ledge or does something sweet or whatever, or like just have a Dondi day, just walk away from it and just go have a Dondi day. And that's a day I just don't think about work. I don't think about anything. If I want to go watch a movie, if I want to go shopping, just go and do what makes me happy. And same for him. There'll be times he's totally stressed and I'm just like, hey, hon, take a deep breath. Let's just, can I help in any way? And we just, we're just a good balance for each other. And I think it works really well. And we both have faith. My first husband wasn't a very godly man. And I started growing in that. And I noticed it pulls you apart sometimes. And Jim was searching for somebody that had faith. And I was searching for someone. And it just, and now we're growing that together. And I think that definitely makes things stronger for us. Yeah.
That's fantastic, Donda. I love hearing about that. All of it.
He's a good guy. He keeps me going, that's for sure. There's times I'm like, do we have to go again? I'm like, you know what? In a few years down the road, we may not be able to go again. All right, let's pack our suitcases again and out the door we go.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah. And then, Lisa, tell us about the investment side of things in terms of, how did you switch how do you pivot between your listings and your investments?
So what's great about the investments is they do end up becoming very passive, right? You just kind of let them wash, rinse, and repeat, depending on what investments you're in, like the gas and oil. You put in your funds and you just get your proceeds. So in that sense, it's great. When you're doing real estate, you've got to keep those turning because those are either short term. You've hard money lended maybe 2 years, and now that's come back. So now you've got to find another process and another process. We have kind of not done so. We were very heavy and moving very quickly with a lot of that for a while. We've pulled back a little bit just to give ourselves a breather because we've done it for so many years. Um, and, with every success, being very transparent and honest, there are some major fails, right?
Of
Mhm.
And we
course.
Yeah, and we've had our major fails too. We had great runs where we're like, the girls' IRAs are killing it. My girls have more money in their IRA than most people,
Yeah.
that kind of great thing, right? And then one wheel falls off, and then the other comes off, and then you're seeing a disconnect. And then you're like, okay, we had to take back some properties because the people that we lent the money to um, grew too quick or ran out of the ability to manage our funds properly and get
Mm,
the properties, um, rebuilt, and then back on the market
Yeah, to
because
complete.
they stretched themselves too thin, they grew too quick, they were in these masterminds, it was a bunch of things. And then we just kind of went, maybe we need to take a step back just a little bit, catch our breath, take back these properties, get them fixed and flipped. And when you're not in that state, it was great that you had somebody else doing it, right?
Hmm.
You're in that state and you got to take that stuff back.
mm,
It's hard. You've got
yes,
to find contractors. You've got to find a realtor. Now you've got to find a whole network of people
that's
to
right.
do this work for you. And you're not running down the street to go see if the property's okay. So that became a whole can of worms, and it's been a headache and a cycle and a learning process, and we've gotten better at it, but it makes you take a pause, right? Sometimes we just need
Hmm.
to take a pause on our investments and go, I got to find a better solution
Right.
or a different track. um
And you
and
know what?
and
That's interesting you said it because I see a lot of private money lenders pull back to their local areas. And no one has ever told me why. They'll be like, yeah, I used to do other states and other places. Not that I've asked for money, although I've been doing this for 10 years now, finding deals off market. I assume at some point I will have to ask someone for money. And so, but as I pay attention, I hear him say, "Oh, well, Jen, I'd love to loan to you, but and again, I hadn't asked, but I am only local to where I am in Virginia. I'm only local here to where I am in Delaware." And I'm like, "But if the deal pencils, the deal pencils." What I'm thinking in my head, but I don't want to speak out of turn because I'm not in their shoes, right? So I just kept it on the inside. And what you're saying makes it make sense that they probably were in a wider area, and when things did go south, it made it almost impossible to stabilize that property, get it on the market. And so thank you for helping me understand why I hear so many private money lenders say they only loan in their
Right.
immediate area.
Right. That's the nail on the head right there.
Hmm.
Because again, I've pulled back and now I've focused on buyers and sellers. But my husband's getting that itch again, right? I want you to start looking for properties. I want you to start looking for off-market things in our area.
Mm-hmm.
Again, keyword area. Because believe it or not, the people that you trust outside of the areas are wonderful
Until
until they're not.
Yes.
And
And you don't have a wall, so you don't know when that's going to happen.
no, and you've got trees down and toilets broken and holes in the ceiling and no refrigerator, and you don't even know this. And this is a property you think is supposed to be your investments, and somebody's supposed to be managing it.
oh
And they're
yeah,
not managing it, right? So are
Hmm.
you going to jump on a plane? Now you have to
that's too
jump on that
much.
plane. Right.
Yeah.
Now you've got to get all these people that you don't even know again to facilitate all this for you.
Right.
So yeah, so if somebody says, "Oh, I only do in my own market," my
That's
first
funny.
thought is they got burnt.
Yep.
They've had an issue. they're learning and they stay close to home. The goal is to stay close to home, where now I can manage that. I know what the real estate paperwork looks like in Delaware. I
Right.
don't know all the hoops in Georgia. And now I've got to deal with Georgia Power and the Georgia court because they didn't file my deed. And
Oh
it's
my goodness.
right. Or why did my property go to a tax lien? It's my property. I'm paying for it. Oh, because you didn't pay the taxes that they didn't send you, that they sent to a different mailing address. It becomes a
Oh
vicious
my goodness.
cycle. It becomes a
Yeah.
vicious cycle. And you don't know until it hits you in the face like a
Mm,
It's a
truck. And then
blessing for
you're
people who are
scrambling to pay that bill so that somebody doesn't come up from under you under and take that property under for foreclosure that you had
right.
no idea was in play.
Yeah, well, that's a great lesson for anyone who's thinking about doing private money
Lending.
lending. So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that, Lisa, because that's real. And you know what? There's plenty of deals, I would imagine, in folks' own markets, anyways, no matter where you live. I mean, unless you're in the West, like this place where we take these road trips where there might be a town of 2,000 people every 50 miles. Okay, maybe that's not a great place. But anyone who is, on the line of Dallas or East is probably going to have enough density, I would think.
Yeah.
And then, Don, I know you're in Washington too. And so then, of course, you have that band there on the coast that has a lot of people. But really, between Seattle and Dallas, if you just kind of go like across the country, it's really not that dense, right?
No, there's a lot of open space. So it's like, okay, that's how fast this car can go. There's nobody out here.
There is nobody out in so much of part of the United States that you don't even know till you take road
For
trips.
an hour or two, you can just hit it and just go. It's like there's
Yeah,
nobody.
there's no
out
911, no cell phone service.
Yeah.
You are completely on your own in a big part of the United States. But folks
Mhm.
in the eastern part of the United States, they don't have that, but so that means there's plenty of business opportunities to loan, I would imagine, hopefully right in your own backyard. So did
Right.
you get more involved with RIAs out there? Is that part of the plan so that you can do more lending in your own backyard?
No, I think our goal is to find the FSBOs or the ones that need some the homes that need some help and tender TLC and hire teams that we can trust and do that type of fix and flip,
Great.
do that kind of market where we can physically see the home, hire a team, and I can go by there every other week if I wanted to and see that there's progress and then me as an agent get it back on the market kind of thing or rent it or whatever the variable might be. But part of the appeal, I think, for investors at that time, because I think it was part of our appeal also, was when the 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 company that wanted to borrow money from us. They were like, well, Georgia is the growing state. They've got these new plants coming in, GM is coming here, or Verizon is coming here, or Amazon, and it's a growing market. You know what I mean? There was so much hype as to why the Georgia market was going to be just a booming city town kind of thing, right? And you kind of buy into that because number one, you're not living there, but you're hearing all this great stuff. So why would I not invest in something that sounds absolutely like wonderful?
Right.
And you buy into that. And yes, maybe the Amazon came and maybe this came, but guess what? The market never caught up to all of that. Right. So some parts of Georgia are still in a very struggling market, but yet we thought that was the place to invest, So again, it's really learning. Is it worth going outside your market or knowing what's right in your backyard and seeing the growth or lack of growth?
It gives you more control for sure when you're in your own backyard and
Yeah.
you can go there easily and check on stuff. Yeah, it totally makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I guess we're kind of at the top of the hour, ladies. That went by fast.
Super fast.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. This was fun. I've never done a
Well,
podcast.
that's fun. Isn't it fun? We just ladies chatting about real estate. We just have a good
Yeah,
time.
that was great.
Yeah. Really enjoyed having you on here and give a lot of insight as an agent and an investor, especially a money lender. That maybe that'll help people understand they need to reach out, like you had mentioned, Jen, to going to the RIAs and finding people who are lending money in their backyard. So they start doing some deals and things too. So
and always do your homework. You know what? We are very, as humans, we want to trust everybody.
Mm-hmm.
We want everybody to be trusted.
Right.
I've learned that no matter how much I trust somebody, I've still got to do my research and my due diligence.
Right.
Or shame
I've heard
on you.
even with like repeat borrowers.
Yeah.
People who had like, borrowed from them repeatedly, but then the 20th time they trusted that and they didn't do underwriting on the deal and it went south. And it's because, like you said, we want to save energy. We don't want to distrust it. We don't want to underwrite every deal. We want to just trust, hey, it's worked out 19 times before. Why wouldn't it work out on the 20th time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's
true.
a very hard lesson. That's a hard lesson. It's very frustrating, and you lose faith in people. But if you're checking up on them on a yearly basis and making sure all their pieces are in order and their finances are still good, and you're only doing yourself justice, and you're keeping them accountable. And it's very important. So important. Don't do a deal just because you think you like somebody. Do a deal because you've researched, you've done your due diligence, and they're going to do what they say, and they can back up what they say they can do.
Right.
It's very important.
And sometimes the best practitioners aren't always the most likable people either. Meaning, maybe they're not very charming. Maybe they're a little introverted. Maybe they're a little, maybe they share, maybe they tell a joke that you wouldn't like, or maybe they just have the personality of a gray rock, right? And so,
but they're very focused and they're what they do. So yeah,
it's very true.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, thank you so much.
Thanks again. A pleasure. It was so nice meeting you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Great. Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye.